All right. As of right now, it is April 14th. It is a beautiful Friday morning. And what happens on April 15th? The playoffs officially start. Let's get it. So I think it's about that time to make my playoff predictions video. I'm just going to jump straight into it. So I'm going to start here in the West. So it's going to be the Nuggets versus whoever wins between OKC and Timberwolves. So the last two games of the play-in are tonight. But I'll be honest, I don't think they matter. I think whoever wins this is going to lose to the first year anyway. So I'm just like, all right, whatever. So I got the Nuggets beating either of these teams in 4. I think it's going to be a sweep. Maybe they might win one of these teams. Maybe the Thunder will get one game. I don't think the Timberwolves will get a game if they win. I think this will be a clean sweep. Phoenix versus Clippers. I think this is, like, on paper, the best series of the first round. But I don't know. Maybe I'm underestimating the Clippers. I don't think it's going to be that, like, competitive. The Clippers with them missing Paul George, and I just don't think they match up well against the Suns without Paul George. Because you're going to have KD and Booker. I saw something on Twitter, like, the Clippers during their practices, like, so they're planning on just doubling KD off jump. But I think with the team Phoenix has, people question their depth a lot, but I think it's just enough. And I think, when you have a point guard like Chris Paul that's, like, there to play make, I think KD is going to be playing a lot of off-ball in this series. Because I think what they're planning on doing is doubling KD when he has the ball, when, let's say, he tries to post up or ISO. But I think in this series with Chris Paul and Booker, I don't think he's going to ISO. I think he's going to spot up a lot, backdoor cuts. If he gets into post, it's going to be like catch it and then make a quick move type shit. And even if they do, you still have CP to worry about. He no slouch. Like, he can still create his own shot, even though he's older. He's not the same Chris Paul's the pass, but he can still play make. He can still create his own shot at the midi in the paint. And then Devin Booker can still give you 30. Ayton's still a threat at the rim. And whoever they start, whether it's Josh Okogie or Torrey Craig or whoever, is still a three-point weapon. Like, they're going to hit their shots if you leave them alone, which I think is what they're planning to do. Whoever is that fifth starter, whether it's Torrey Craig, Josh Okogie, or whoever else, I think they're just planning on leaving that nigga open. But I don't think it's going to work out the way they think. I got Phoenix in 5, I'm not going to lie. If Paul George was healthy, this is a whole different series. I think if Paul George is healthy, I still got Phoenix, but I think that goes 7. Because you have an extra wing to guard Booker and KD. Along with the depth they already have, I think that's a key matchup. Also, Westbrook versus KD. Wow, we're getting a Westbrook versus KD matchup. I think Westbrook has been playing way better with the Clippers than he has with the Lakers. Because I think that he just fits that team better. There's more spacing. There's more for him to do what he has to do. But I still think his shooting is going to be a weakness. I feel like Phoenix, like, to match up, I don't think they're going to put, like, Chris Paul on him. I think they might put, like, KD on him and just have KD sit, like, deep, low mid-range, close to the paint, and just force Westbrook to shoot. Even though he hasn't been shooting bad for the Clippers. I think as a Clipper, he's shooting 36% from 3, which is really good for him. I don't think that's going to continue in the playoffs, though. I'm not going to lie. All right, so the next series is Golden State versus Sacramento. Yo, the Kings have done amazing this season. Like, a lot of people, no one really expected the Kings to be this good, except for Kings fans, because fan bases of their own team's always going to be delusional. But they were right this year. They were really good. The Kings have one of the best offenses in the league, statistically one of the best of all time. All that being said, I still got Golden State, even though Golden State has gone through a lot this year. Injuries, Wiggins being out, the struggles they have on the road. I don't think, I just think they're still going to beat the Kings. However, I think the series is going to be more competitive than people think. Like, I see a lot of people having Warriors in a sweep or in 5. I think Warriors win in 6. Like, I think this is going to be a tough series, especially because of their struggles on the road. All right, and Memphis versus Lakers ends the first round in the West. I'm not going to lie. This series can go either way. In my personal opinion, I have the Grizzlies winning it. And it's crazy. The Grizzlies are the 2 seed, but they might be the underdog in the series. I don't know. I think, like, from a fan's perspective, they're the underdogs. And then I think from Vegas, as, they sport betting shit, they have Lakers as the underdogs. But if you ask a majority of fans, a lot of that like aren't Lakers fans and aren't Grizzlies fans, a lot of niggas have the Lakers winning the series. A lot of niggas have the Lakers going all the way to the conference finals or the finals. I'm not gonna lie though, I originally had the Lakers winning this series, but after what I saw in the playing game with the Lakers against the Timberwolves, yes, they won, but that game pointed out glaring issues for me that I think the Grizzlies are going to exploit. Because the Grizzlies are a better team than the Timberwolves. And they're more composed. Even though they are a young team, they're more composed late game than the Timberwolves. I don't think the Grizzlies have anyone to guard Ja. You have Jared Vanderbilt, who's a great defender. But I don't think he's going to be able to guard Ja for a 6-7 game series. Especially because how Ja, they're going to use screens to get Ja a mismatch. They're going to space out. They can 5 out, keeping AD and Vanderbilt out the paint. And then that gives Ja space to work, do his thing. You also got Desmond Bane, who's going to hit his shots. Jaren Jackson Jr., who's improved offensively. We already know what he can do defensively. But his improvement offensively is also what makes him a threat. I know the Grizzlies lost Steven Adams and Brandon Clark, which is a huge loss for them, especially against a team like the Lakers. But I still think the Grizzlies are going to pull this out. And I think this is going to be the closest series in the first round. I think Grizzlies win in 7. But I'm not going to lie, if Steven Adams and or Brandon Clark, if either of them or both of them were still healthy, I think Grizzlies win this in 5 or 6. Because the only reason I think this is going to be a close-ass series is because I think the Lakers are going to feast on boards, bro. Because right now, they're probably going to have Jaren Jackson Jr. at the 5. Kenny Lofton, who they brought up from G League, is really nice. He's underrated, bro. I got the Grizzlies, but this can go either way. Like, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if the Lakers won. I also wouldn't be surprised if the Grizzlies won. So, yeah. Now down to the East. Bucks beating whoever coming out in 4. I'm be honest. What's it called? When I saw Miami's collapse against the Hawks, I was like, yeah, okay, this is not the same Miami team from the bubble. This ain't even the same Miami team from last year. Because, I'm be honest, if before that playing game, I was like, if Miami ends up playing the Bucks or the Hawks, because I thought, like I said in my last video, I thought I said the Hawks were going to win, but you know damn well I didn't want the Heat to play Boston. But after what I saw, I would not have been scared, if Boston played the Heat. I thought that they would have won in 4 or 5, honestly. But yeah, their offense they have one of the worst offenses in the league. And against a team like the Bucks, who's one of the best defenses, it's not going to work out. Yeah, I got Milwaukee sweeping whoever comes out. And the Bulls, they won a good game against the Raptors, bro. DeAndre DeRozan for MVP. But yeah, I think like I said before, I think the Bulls need to blow it up. I think the Heat, I don't think they need to blow it up, but they definitely need to make changes. Whoever wins this game tonight is going to get swept by the Bucks. I don't know. All right, Cleveland versus New York. This is, I think, going to be the most fun series in the first round. So, I'm not going to lie. So, I'm from New York. I'm a native New Yorker. I'm not claiming to be a Knicks fan. But obviously, I'm happy when New York teams do good, except against the teams I root for, which in this case will be the Celtics and the Suns. Any other team, I'm for the Knicks. But being objective here, I don't see the Knicks winning the series. I have friends, shout out Chopper and Young Stick, that think the Knicks can go far. Chopper and his delusional ass to be like, oh yeah, Knicks to the finals. Yeah, what the frack? But yeah, no, I got Cleveland winning the series in like 6. I think with Cleveland and New York, I think New York's gonna be better than it, because the way I'm picturing New York is the last time they were in the playoffs against the Hawks 2 years ago, Julius Randle collapsed, RJ Barrett collapsed, and the Hawks just outplayed them. Now I think RJ Barrett's going to collapse again. I don't expect them to go crazy or nothing. Julius Randle, at first I was like, oh, he's gonna collapse again, but honestly, he might be better this year. I don't know what it is. It's more of a gut feeling. From what I've seen from him, I feel like he might not collapse this year. Also, the addition of Jalen Brunson, Josh Hart, those are players that I know are going to show up in the playoffs. But I don't think it's going to be enough against Cleveland. They're probably going to have Josh Hart on Donovan Mitchell. I don't think it's going to be enough. Donovan Mitchell's going to average 30+. He goes crazy in the playoffs. Darius Garland, for an average 20 and 10. You got the Twin Towers down there, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. They're going to lock shit up down there. Julius Randle, RJ Barrett. The paint is going to be cluttered, bruh. Because, yeah, I don't know. I feel like the only way the Knicks would win is if they just relied on their three-point shooting, and I don't think they're a good enough shooting team to outshoot the Cavs when the paint's going to be locked up like that. So, yeah, I got Cleveland in 6. But the Knicks have played good this year. That's not taking anything away from what they've done. Jalen Brunson proved that his contract is not like an overpay, because a lot of people said that it was a bad contract. He shut a lot of niggas up this year. And that's good for New York. I feel like this is something they can build on. I think they use this, and then like in the future, for maybe this offseason, trade RJ Barrett. Maybe even trade Julius Randle. I know he had a good season, but I'm just saying, maybe if you can get something better for him, trade him. Especially because apparently Dame might be on the market this offseason. Hey, all I'm saying is look into that. Look into that shit. Philly, Brooklyn. This is an easy series. Philly in 4. The only reason Brooklyn is this high is because KD and Kyrie in the beginning of the year, and they had one of the best records in the league when they were there before KD got hurt. This is like, I'm not a believer in Mikal Bridges. Like, I don't have nothing against Mikal, but like him averaging 27 points, I don't think that's real. I don't think like in the playoffs, I don't think he's gonna do that. And next year, I don't think he's gonna do that either. I mean, you never know what can happen. Maybe they see a game, but I don't see this series going past 5. Philly just got too much for Brooklyn. Even though Brooklyn is good defensively, like on paper they match up well against Philly. You got obviously Nick Claxton, who's no one's stopping Embiid, but he's a good defensive center. Got Mikal, Cam Johnson, Dorian Finney-Smith. You got good defensive wings to guard Harden, Maxey, Tobias, all them stuff. You got Spencer Dinwiddie, that's a 6'6" guard. Can score, play defense for you, all that shit. You got Cam Thomas off the bench that can give you some good minutes, some good points. But yeah, on paper, yes, but realistically, this ain't happening. And then the last series of the first round, Boston versus Atlanta. I am biased, I will say that, but I will do my best with Boston and with Phoenix. I will do my best to be unbiased and give reasoning for why I think they would win in certain series. So I just think Boston beats Atlanta. I don't think Atlanta can keep up with Boston. They don't have no one to guard Tatum or Brown. Their best perimeter defender is DeAndre Hunter. And I'm not saying DeAndre Hunter's bad, but he's not locking up Tatum or Brown. And then they also have Atlanta is a good matchup for Boston, but Boston is a bad matchup for Atlanta because Boston just has everything they need to guard the Hawks. You have good defensive guards in Smart and Derek White, and Malcolm Brogdon's no defensive slouch either to guard Trae Young, DeJounte Murray, and even if you want to switch up, you don't want them guarding them. You have Jaylen Brown, who is a wing, but he can guard guards. Like, you can put him on Trae, you can put him on DeJounte. Jason Tatum, he's an elite defender too, can guard 1 through 4. They probably won't put him on Trae or DeJounte, but I know the Hawks are going to want to switch a lot with screens. Like, this is a team that the Hawks are going to keep trying to use screens to switch, to get their matchup. The only matchup that will work for them on a switch would be switching Al Horford, but even then, Al Horford's not a bad defender. I'm not saying he'll get switched on to Trae Young and clamp Trae Young, but he's not it's not no easy buckets for Trae with Al Horford on him. Alright, moving on to the second round, we gonna just go in this way in the East. Boston versus Philly. I think this is gonna be a good series. I'm not gonna lie, I've heard a lot of people say Philly. I'm just like, what has changed in Philly this year from the last, 4 or 5 years? Like, I got Boston in 6. This is like not, to me, I don't know. So, here's the thing with Philly. Philly, yes, you got Harden, you got Embiid. No one's stopping Embiid. But this is what I think. I think Harden is, I'm not saying he's going to sell in the playoffs, but we know Harden in the playoffs is not the same player he is in a regular season. So I'm not saying he's going to go from what he's averaging to fucking 5 points, 5 assists on 20%. I'm not saying that. But I do think he's gonna become less efficient in the playoffs. He's gonna get more turnovers, especially against this defense. I think the Celtics have, like, for the last few years, they've just run the strategy of just let Embiid's gonna cook, but no one else is gonna do shit. Even though they still double Embiid and stuff, but they put in extra effort to make sure no one else cooks them. Because that's where Philly beats you. If Embiid cooks, and then you got either Harden or Maxey or Tobias, then they cook too, that's how Philly beats you. Also in the regular season, I don't like to use the regular season matchups, but Boston is like 3-1 this season in the regular season. The only game they lost was without Jaylen Brown and Robert Williams. So, I don't know. You take that for what you will. Boston's been whooping Philly for like years now. I don't think that's going to change this year. I don't think there's any difference from this year to last year when Philly lost Miami. And I think Boston's better than Miami, so yeah, no, Boston is 6. Milwaukee versus Cleveland. I think this is going to be an underrated series. I think a lot of people are going to write Cleveland off here and just say Milwaukee easy. I still got Milwaukee winning. I just don't think it's going to be an easy series. I think Donovan Mitchell's going to have a hard time to score this series because he's going to have Jrue Holiday on him. But I still think he's going to get his buckets. I still think Darius Garland's going to do what he do, get buckets and play make. And on paper, Cleveland is the best team to stop Giannis. On paper. Because you got you got the Jared Allen, Evan Mobley down there to block up the paint. What they're probably going to do is have Evan Mobley play on ball on Giannis, have him sit like free throw line, and then Jared Allen there on the back door playing help defense. So I think they're going to make this series tough. I do, however, still got Milwaukee in a good 6 games. I think it's going to be a close 6 games. And yeah, I just don't see it. But Cleveland got something going. Like, Cleveland is going to be a top seed for like the next few years if they keep this team together. And if they add even more. But yeah, that's what I got right now. Alright, for the second round in the West. So, Golden State versus Memphis. Or Memphis versus Golden State, however you look at it. I'm not going to lie. I got Memphis in a good 7 games. I just think Golden State has too much to overcome. This Golden State team reminds me of the 2021 Nets team. Obviously, the 2021 Nets team had a big 3, but the issue with that Nets team is that, yes, on paper, they were good. They were the easy favorites. They were the team to beat. But then throughout the year, KD, Kyrie, and Harden, I think, only played 7 games in the regular season that year together, or like 7 to 11 games. Then in the playoffs, they played that first round. Second round, Harden got injured. Kyrie got injured, and then KD, with the foot on the line. That all happened. I just think the issue with that team, I think, is going to be an issue similar with Golden State. I just don't think they're going to have the continuity to continue. It's like Golden State's a team where people are like, oh, well, they should win. They should make it far. But with everything they've been through, all the injuries, all the chemistry issues. A lot of people forgot about this, but remember in the beginning of the year, fucking Draymond socked Jordan Poole. A lot of people forgot about that shit. Wiggins being out for so long. Curry getting injured for a while. I know during that time, Klay stepped it up and starting to be like old, like prime Klay again. I just don't think with everything they went through, all the adversity they went through, I just don't think they overcome it in the playoffs. I don't know, because every time teams like that they always lose at some point. Like, teams that are expected to win or make it far, but because a lot of shit happens in regular season, people still expect it to go far. I don't think that's going to be the case with Golden State. Just like it wasn't the case with a lot of our teams that were expected to go far, like Golden State. Also, Memphis. I think these two teams played last year, but I think Ja is better this year than he was last year. Jaren Jackson, Desmond Bain. I think the Grizzlies are just better than they were last year. Not because they added pieces or anything. If anything, they lost pieces because Steven Adams and Brandon Clark are injured. But I just think they're better this year to where they can make up a little bit of the difference from when they lost last year. I think Curry's going to be Curry. You're not stopping him. Klay, they're probably going to have Dylan Brooks on him. Klay, who knows? There could be a game where Klay go off for 40 and then games where he misses 20 shots. So with Klay, you don't know. Klay's like a wild factor in this series to me. I don't think Jordan Poole is going to do all that. I think he's going to get locked up, I'm not going to lie. Or not even locked up, I just think he's just going to miss a lot of shots. Because Jordan Poole is also very wishy-washy. He'll have games where he has 30-something, but then majority of the time he's mad inefficient. I don't know. I think that contract, I think they overpaid him. Because I think he has a max contract now. So, I don't know. But, yeah, I got Grizzlies in 7, though. I think this is going to be a good series, though. Alright, last one of the conference finals, Phoenix versus Denver. I also think this is going to be a good series. But I do think people are overthinking this series because I've seen so many people saying like overcomplicating the series, like, oh my god, Denver with this and but Phoenix with that. I think it's simple. Phoenix doesn't have anything to guard Jokic, but Denver doesn't have anything to guard KD or Booker. I think they're gonna put Jokic. Jokic is gonna go through hell defensively this series in pick and rolls. They're gonna spam that shit, get Chris Paul, Booker, KD. They're gonna get that. They're gonna get them on Jokic. And Jokic won't get put on an island in this series a lot, I think. But I also think Jokic offensively is going to get his. He's going to get his like 25 and 11, 25, 11 and 9. Like, because Ayton's good. I think he's underrated, but he's not stopping Jokic. But again, I got Phoenix winning this in 6. But I think that's a good series. I think that's going to be an entertaining series. But I just think the Suns are going to be too much for them. All right, conference finals. Phoenix versus Memphis. I also got Phoenix winning this series in 6 as well. I think, like I said before, I just think the Phoenix matches up well against a lot of teams because a lot of teams don't have the wing depth to guard a KD and Booker duo. You know what I mean? The only team that would really have that wing depth is the Clippers, but Paul George is out, so they don't even have that wing depth either right now. Like, they have, like, Nicholas Batum and Robert Covington, but I don't think either of them are doing anything against KD or Booker. So, yeah, I think that's going to be too much. I think Ja's going to go off in this series, though. I think he's going to average close to 30 in this series. But I feel like this is going to be a series where I think Phoenix is going to apply that same mentality Boston be having against Philly. Ja's going to cook, but we going to make sure damn well no one else do shit. I think that's what they're going to do in this series. And yeah, no, I think Phoenix is just gonna steamroll the West. I'm not gonna lie. Their team, it's just hard for me to see them losing with this team, bruh. When KD plays, they're 8-0. They match up well against so many teams, bruh. And a lot of teams don't match up well against them. Like, I feel like the Lakers, match up the best against them if they make it, but I don't think they're gonna make it that far. Because if they beat the Grizzlies, I don't see them beating the Warriors. So I don't know. I see Phoenix making it all the way. So I don't know. All right, and the conference finals, a rematch of the second round last year, Milwaukee versus Boston. I think this is a 7-game series, regardless of who wins. Again, last year was a 7-game series. I think a lot of people have had Milwaukee pretty easily because they have Chris Middleton back, which is true. Yeah, they have Chris Middleton back. They added Jay Crowder, which was a good pickup. I think Milwaukee is better than they were last year. However, I also think Boston's better than they were last year. I think with the addition of Malcolm Brogdon, Mike Muscala, another shooting big to space out the floor, and another year of Derek White, another year of Brown and Tatum getting better. I think Boston takes this series because I still think Boston matches up well against Milwaukee. Like, I think Giannis is going to be Giannis. Like, you're not stopping him for real. But I think Tatum and Brown are going to be enough offensively. Plus, where you're going to get you're always going to get a little bit from Smart, from Brogdon, from Derek White, Al Horford, maybe Rob Williams on lobs. Like, you're always going to get a little bit from them. And I think that's going to be enough versus Milwaukee. I think, how do I put this? I think the role players in Boston are more reliable than the role players in Milwaukee. You know what Giannis is going to give you. You know what, most of the time, you know what Jrue Holiday's going to give you. Same with Chris Middleton. Most of the time, you know he's going to give you, even though he'd be a little inconsistent in the playoffs. But everyone else is like a big question mark. You can have a game where Brook Lopez hits like 4 threes, and then you can also have games where he drops a donut. Like, versus Boston, you know Malcolm Brogdon will give you a solid 10 to 20 off the bench. Derek White can give you 10 points off that shit. Marcus Smart can give you anywhere from 5 to 25 points. Marcus Smart is a wild card because you never know with him. He could be shooting like a prime Klay Thompson, or he could be just shooting the bricks. He can be making fucking Foster homes with the bricks he be shooting. You never know with him. But I got Boston in 7. And I know people going to look at this and say, like, this is my bias. But I genuinely believe this was going to happen. Take my bias aside. I think I give valid reasoning for why these two teams make it here. Like, I think these are the 2 best teams. Well, let me not say that. I think these are 2 of the best teams in the league. I don't know, because I think Milwaukee's up there too. But I don't know. And then Phoenix versus Boston. Mind you, so if it gets to this point, I don't care who wins, bro. Either Tatum gets his first ring or KD gets his third. I don't care who wins. But if I have to be realistic here, I think Boston is probably the only team in the league right now that they knew, at least last year, they knew how to guard KD. They forced KD to just be inefficient, just play bad. I don't think it's gonna be the same this year. I think KD's gonna play better. I think that the way they tried to trap him last year, I don't think that will work, especially because they have a playmaker. Like I keep mentioning, they have a playmaker like CP3. Last year they didn't have that. I love Kyrie, also one of my top 3 favorite players, but he's no playmaker. Like he can give you 5 assists, but he's not a playmaker. He's a shooting guard in a point guard's body. But I think with a playmaker like Chris Paul, you can run KD off ball a lot more. Same thing like I said with the Clipper series. You can run him off ball a lot more. And I think KD's going to get his. I think Booker's going to get his, even though Boston's elite defense. And same thing the other way around. Phoenix, I don't think they're stopping Tatum or Brown. But the reason I have who I win in the series, so I just think Boston is more likely to get stops on Phoenix than the other way around. I got Boston in 7. I got Boston in 7. Like I said, I don't care who... Oh, what the fuck? I don't care who wins this series, to be honest. If this is the final series, I don't care who wins. I'm happy regardless. Oh my god. I'm happy regardless. But I think this will be like the best series in a minute. Like I think this will be a really good series, bruh. But yeah, let me know what y'all think. Let me know who y'all think's gonna win. What y'all think of like these predictions in the series. Oh my god. Let me know who y'all think's gonna get to the finals. Do y'all agree with my picks? Disagree? Let me know. Leave them in the comments. Tell me if you think W predictions or L predictions. Let me know what you think. Yeah. If you got a problem with this, make your own predictions. What the fuck? Alright, so I'll catch y'all. This is going to be a good-ass playoffs. I'm out.